Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and today I want to talk to you about something I'm noticing at Ollies. Ollies is gearing up for something. We'll talk about that. Obviously for the holidays, and it always feels like it's too soon, but it's August, and we've only got 5 months left in the year. So with that, taking a look at this stuff, Ollies is usually the place that product goes to die. Most people really look at Ollies as just kind of a dumping ground for failed toy lines, but I don't know if I'd call them failed toy lines. I'd say bad decisions for these toy lines, and sometimes there are some gems. And then there's a lot of junk. I mean, in all reality, there is a lot of junk there, and even when they put the 30 and 40% off, 33% off, something like that, it doesn't sell through all that well. But they are gearing up with pallets upon pallets upon pallets of toys, getting ready for, maybe you call it a reset. Most people would call it seasonal type of inventory, and with that, there is a lot coming. This is the tip of the iceberg. And if you remember from past years, they don't just fill up the toy aisles, they fill up the aisle all the way down and all in the front, and it is a huge deal around this time. Toy companies dump their spares on Ollies around this time of year. So we're going to get into talking about the significance of this. What I've already found or heard is out there in this pile of stuff, and some ideas of what might come or what I'd like to see coming up. Why is it important that we even pay attention to Ollies and Ross and TJ Maxx and DD's sucks. I don't know how people find stuff at DD's. That's a terrible place to find stuff. But anyway, those places, the Burlingtons, and even some Kohl's have a nice sale in their toy section. But mostly with this Ollies, they lead the way in low-priced stuff. In fact, they are even lower price on comparable product that's sold at Ross nowadays. It used to be the other way around. This day and age, they'll have 30% off sales, 25% off sales on toys, especially leading up to the holidays. Their stuff's already priced at a third, in most cases, a third to a quarter of MSRP, and you get this stuff for really cheap. And you can get it even cheaper when they put it on sale. That's why it's a big deal. I mean, this day and age, every dollar, you want that dollar to go as far as you can. I want to point this out there. Masters of the Universe stuff looks like they're selling through a lot of this Masters of the Universe stuff. There's still quite a bit there, but less variety, I guess you could say, to pick from. And I do want to talk about how these operations work. They buy the stuff for real cheap, and then they mark it up, however, whatever their percentage markup is. Usually it's 15 to 20% from what they paid. But this Clamp Champ, they're sitting on it for a long time. They paid too much for Clamp Champ. I don't know what buyer out there was like, hey, we're getting all this Master Universe stuff for $4 and we're marking it up to 6 or 8 or 10. And yeah, let's go ahead and pay $12 a figure or whatever they were thinking on this Clamp Champ. I don't know. So if you go into your Ollies, you might see a little something like this. This is pallets upon pallets upon pallets getting ready to get put out and filling up the toy aisle. Now, they're not going to have room on their toy aisle for this. There's so much stuff. They've got generally 2 aisles of toys, and one's mostly Nerf. It's a boys and a girls and a Nerf for the most part. But where are they going to put all this? Like, they're going to have to build up structures here or something along those lines to put all of this stuff. And it's all wrapped up. And the employees are saying you're not really supposed to buy anything off this just yet. Even though there was something interesting in there that was there, it's not there anymore. And we're about to see that picture. But it's interesting how they get so much in all at once. And we're not even deep into the season yet. Now, there was a G.I. Joe Classified 60th Anniversary Collection. This doesn't usually get me excited, but it is $12.99, and so let's just take a look at what was in the box. The lady that worked there told me it was the Sniper. Now, this is something I passed on for $35, But for $12.99, I'm okay with paying $12.99 for a $35 item. That's one third, roughly one third of the MSRP, and it's not a bad figure. And in fact, so many people tell me how much they love this figure. They'd like to buy more of them. So if you love this figure, you want to buy more, you might want to check your Ollies probably the next few days, whenever they start putting all this stuff out. But some of this stuff isn't appealing. This probably didn't sell very well. So you got to think about a lot of the stuff that ends up in Ollies did not sell very well. But there's still a market for it, and people want to buy that stuff for $13. Same thing with Ross and all of those. So with that, even myself, like myself who doesn't want to pay $35, probably would have considered it if it was $20 or $25 like the regular figures, not the extremely expensive $35. But $13, good deal. Now, we're going to Targets and seeing the Fireman, which I'm hearing people rave about this Fireman, but it's another one I was like, oh, I almost bought it. But then I remembered, oh, it's not $25, it's $35. Nah, never mind, put it back. I almost bought this figure, but it's $35. I feel like they need to, the $35 price point is too high. And pretty much every figure that they put at retail above the standard 20 or 25, even 25 is too high, but these always end up on sale or cheaper later down the road, another avenue, one way, shape, or form. And with that, I haven't seen so many of these legacy ones or 60th anniversary of those kinds of things just yet, but they're starting to show up. And I'm holding off on this. I don't really need this. If I miss it, it's not a big deal. If you really want this, I say buy it. And then if you want an extra one down the road and you find them at Ollies or Ross or something like that, then great. What I really want to see is this officer. Now, I want to point something out. The fact that the officer wasn't available because it had a riot shield. So lawbreakers breaking the law, illegally rioting, need to be put in their place with that riot shield and all these other things here. Maybe we should just get an extra set of this for the whole Joe team so that they could go in and clear some stuff up, right? So we can fix some problems with people that are breaking the law. And that's what law enforcement does. They fix issues when they break the law. And I like this figure. I was going to use it as a long arm for cops and crooks. That was one of my ideas for it. But let me just talk to you about how this stuff usually happens. When they do stuff like this, every time they put off a release, by the time retailers get it, for whatever reason, they act like they got it late, and it's almost as if it's been sitting on the shelf for a long time, and they quickly get clearance, discounted, or possibly salvaged, because I've seen stuff come straight out of the case at a Walmart, and not so much Target, but at a Walmart, and put the clearance labels right on it, straight out of the case, and put it on the shelf. Never had it in a Walmart before, and it went straight to clearance. I feel like this could happen because it was delayed. There was no communication about it. This is a possibility. You could be checking this at your Walmarts, or it could show up at Ollies. This is a prime candidate for flooding Ollies. For $13 a piece, I have to tell myself, I don't know how many I'm going to buy. 10? I don't know. One of the things most people are holding their breath for that collect Dungeons & Dragons is Wave 2. But I think the Wave 2 ship has sailed. I mean, it has been clearanced out at Target, and I don't think any of them ever made it to any Ollies or Ross or any of that. The Wave 2 with the Sheila and the Presto, and there was another one in there, Eric. So those three, they're not going to show up. Just don't hold your breath for it. It's not going to happen. If it was going to happen, it would happen by now. And with that, I mean, stranger things have happened, and if it ever does show up, I'm going to be reporting on it, but I doubt it. Now, I don't anticipate a lot more G.I. Joe to hit, but I do anticipate a lot more Star Wars Black Series. And I do anticipate Vintage Collection. There's two reasons. First of all, I think that Black Series collecting is going down, and the fact that probably 60% of those figures are just reissues that are just slight variants of what people already have. So there's a low level of interest in that. So a lot of this stuff could be going to Ollies. So a lot of Star Wars Black Series. The Vintage Collection stuff I think is going to show up at Ollies and Ross and all those places because the price point, that $17 price point for what we as the community deem a $10 figure, it's just hard to swallow $17. It's just all I got to say. And all those just sit and rot on the shelves. it's funny that I haven't seen any new Masters of the Universe stuff showing up at any Ollies. There's a very specific reason why I think that's going on. And as you can see, this wave is selling out everywhere like crazy. I don't know if it's low production or just we needed a decent Tila, and Cobra Khan is pretty cool actually. I didn't pre-order it, so I'm out, but I'm losing interest in Motu quick. So, but I think it's because of all of the Motu stuff they got stuck with 3 years ago, and they're still trying to offload it. That even the buyers know they don't want to touch Masters of the Universe. Ollies and so to the point Ross don't want to mess with Masters of the Universe. Although Ross is picking up some Masters of the Universe stuff, I've not seen one new item at Ollies. The newest item is this Clamsham at Ollies that I have seen, and I find it strange. Now mileage may vary, and Ollies in other parts of the country might be getting different stuff, but it feels like they are not wanting to touch anything Masters of the Universe, and they feel like it was a bad idea to buy it in the first place. That's my feeling there. Are they going to buy any more Marvel Legends? Oddly enough, probably yeah. Yeah, and this is going to be a quick video, so I might as well throw this in here. It's a little preview of the weekend news, but I've already seen Wave 2 of the Thundercats crossovers. Now, I'm not big on the crossovers, but I do like Thundercats more than Turtles. I like Thundercats more than Tmnt. And the crossover to Thundercats makes more sense to me because Thundercats and He-Man are more similar in the Classics line, it made sense. So maybe that's how it works in my head. So this crossover makes a lot more sense to me, but this is Panthro for the Wave 2. Some dude selling this stuff on eBay. Tigra. He was wanting a lot of money for him too, but the heroic Thunderian scientist. So it's kind of cool. I would really set these up to look as much like the Thundercats as I could. So I wouldn't be trying to set them up to look like they're from Eternia, though. They want to look like they're from Thundera, Third Earth, either one of those. Most powerful man in the universe, and then the He-Man. Now this one does kind of look weird. It feels strange too at the same time, but it is what it is. So I'm finding these at retail, and I'm finding them at retail for $20, and then you get 5% off the red card at Target, and I'll collect it that way if I find them at retail. I'm not going to be buying them online. I was kind of hoping I could find the cartoon collection for $5 like I was at Ross. But anyway, what do you guys think about all of this Ollie's gearing up? I mean, obviously it happens this time of year, but it feels a little early to me. Are you excited for it? Are you meh? Are you curious at all? Or have you stopped going to Ross and Ollie's? Let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe. Take care, hang out.